Hello young minds, welcome to another session of All4 e-learning program. In this session, we will take up the applications of the electric field. The applications of the electric field due to a charged non-conducting charged solid sphere. So I was stressing you on that day, right? Whenever we consider the non-conducting sphere is also termed as the insulating sphere or dielectric sphere. It is insulating or dielectric sphere. Now, the applications. In the previous sessions, we have deduced a formula for the electric field for a non-conducting solid sphere at the outside point and on the surface point. Let us now evaluate the formula for the electric field due to the solid sphere at the inside point. Now this is the most important part of the most difficult and the most important part of the chapter, and very important with respect to the entrance examination also. So I will be putting it very neatly, clearly, so please concentrate. Consider a non-conducting charged sphere. Charged uniformly, so it is charged uniformly, right? Continuous charge distribution, uniform charge distribution such that at any point the charge contained, the charge per unit volume is a constant. The amount of charge in any particular volume, if I count the amount of charge in this unit volume, it is same as the charge per unit volume at any point, right? So let the charge per unit volume of this charge be rho. This is the charge per unit volume. The total charge of the sphere is capital Q, right? And the radius of the sphere, we have considered the radius of the sphere as capital R. The radius of the sphere is capital R. Now, volume of the sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So, Q by 4 by 3 pi r cube. So, therefore, cross multiplying the total charge contained by the sphere, the total charge possessed by the sphere is rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube it is it? So this is the total charge possessed by the capital R cube, sorry. So rho into 4 by 3, capital R is the radius of the sphere, 4 by 3 pi capital R cube into rho. Rho is the volume charge density of the sphere there. Well, now I want to find, he is asking to find the electric field at any inside point. At a point inside the sphere, suppose the point is somewhere here. He is asking to find the electric field at the point P inside the sphere at a distance small r. What is the electric field at that point? Now this is the question he is asking you. Now the steps, we have to apply Gauss law. So first, consider a Gaussian surface like this. So the first step is imagine a Gaussian surface. I was telling you, whenever you imagine a Gaussian surface, it should be symmetrical to the given charge distribution. Since the charge given is a sphere, then our Gaussian surface is also a spherical surface like this, a sphere. Now I was stressing on this. I have given you a table even, right, where for different charge distributions, the different Gaussian surfaces and the different direction of the electric fields in those cases. For point charge, the Gaussian surface should be a sphere. At every point, the direction is radially outward. So normally the field will be normally outward to the Gaussian surface. Second one, for linear charge, line of charge. Whenever charge is along the line, linear charge, then you should imagine a cylinder around it. The Gaussian surface should be a cylindrical Gaussian surface around it like this. A symmetrical cylinder whose axis is along this line of charge. Again, the direction will be radially outward from it. So when I imagine a cylinder like this, then the electric field will be this way. So if I imagine a cylinder, the direction of the electric field is along the chalk piece. At any point, it is like this. So at any point, it is outward normal, radially outward normal. Third, if it is a plain sheet, charged sheet, for a charged sheet, whenever you are given a charged sheet, then imagine a Gaussian surface. If this is a charged sheet, then imagine a surface parallel to it. This parallel surface It can be a square, rectangle, or a circle, even whatever it is. Now close it correspondingly. Suppose if it is a square, close it with a cube. So imagine the same Gaussian surface on the other side also. So it should be on this side as well as this, symmetric, right? It should be symmetrical to the given charge distribution. Close it either by a cuboid or a cylindrical surface. Then if I imagine the surface like this, then the direction of the electric field will be along the chalk piece. If the plane I consider, my hand denotes the plane parallel to the charge distribution, then the direction of the electric field will be along the chalk piece, outward normal. Then the last one, for a sphere, the spherical Gaussian surface you have to imagine, again the field is radially outward. So now this is a sphere, the point is inside. Okay, here also let me imagine a spherical Gaussian surface like this, of radius small r. Now first step, we will find out the charge that is enclosed inside this Gaussian surface. So our Gaussian surface is here. Let the charge enclosed inside this sphere, let the charge that is enclosed, let it be small q. We know it is uniform charge distribution. For uniform charge distribution, what do you mean uniform charge distribution? The amount of charge per unit volume at any point inside the sphere is same. Wherever you consider, at any place inside the sphere, the charge per unit volume is constant. So rho is constant, rho. So since the rho here we have considered as rho there, then even inside this sphere also the volume charge density is same rho. So rho is the charge that is enclosed in this Gaussian surface small q by the volume of the Gaussian surface. I have imagined this Gaussian surface as a sphere of radius small r. So the volume is 4 by 3 pi small r cube. Right, so charge inside the Gaussian surface. So q by 4 by 3 pi r cube. Cross multiplying, I get the charge inside the Gaussian surface is rho times 4 by 3 pi small r cube it is. Right? So the total charge possessed by the sphere is rho into 4 by 3 pi capital R cube. The complete charge, the total charge is this. But the charge inside the Gaussian surface, only this part, the charge inside here. Now this is rho into 4 by 3 small r cube. Now divide this by this. Let this be equation 2. So dividing 2 by 1. Is it? So therefore, charge inside the Gaussian surface by the total charge capital Q. It's rho times 4 by 3 pi small r cube by rho times 4 by 3 pi. The total, the radius, the total volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So since it is uniform charge distribution, all these get cancelled. Cross multiplying, the charge inside is capital Q times, this is small r cube by capital R cube. Small r by capital R whole cube. Equation 3, very important. If the total charge of the sphere is capital Q, then charge inside the sphere. Question, he'll ask you a question like this. For a sphere of radius r, the total charge distributed is capital Q. Then what is the charge contained in a smaller sphere of radius r by 2? Suppose half the radius. Charge possessed by the charge contained by the sphere of radius r by 2, half the radius inside the sphere. Now let the charge be q. So q is equal to, according to this formula, it's capital Q times small r. So small r is the charge of the inner sphere, that is r by 2. R by 2 by capital R whole cube. So r cancels, charge is capital Q by 2 cube. 2 cube is 8. So charge contained inside is q by 8. So if you are asked to find out the charge that is possessed inside in any part, then the charge q is for capital Q times small r by capital R whole cube. You can ask you to find the charge at any point. It need not be a concentric sphere even. Sometimes, suppose there is a solid charged sphere capital Q. Total charge is capital Q. Now consider a spherical part. Consider a spherical part touching the periphery of this solid sphere, right? A sphere touching the surface of the surface of the solid sphere and passing to the center of the solid sphere. He doesn't give the radius. You see, he is giving you the question in the form of a sentence. A solid sphere is given a total charge capital Q. Its radius is capital R. Now, consider a smaller sphere inside, touching the surface of the sphere and passing through the center of the sphere. Now, what is the charge possessed in this sphere? Suppose there is a cavity, there is a hole like this cavity. What charge is missing from this sphere? Charge missing. Had it been the total charge, had the total charge been capital Q, what is the charge contained in this smaller sphere? Now here also, since the charge distribution is uniform, it is uniform charge distribution. At any place the charge per unit volume is constant. So rho is constant. So therefore charge contained in this Q inside, Q in the smaller sphere is capital Q times small r by capital R whole Q. Now what is smaller? Now the given inner sphere is touching the center and even touching the surface. It is touching the periphery of the sphere. It's passing through the center of the sphere. Now the distance from here to here is the radius of the bigger sphere, capital R. But this is the diameter of the smaller sphere. That is smaller sphere, 2r. 2r is capital R now. So actually this is the radius of the bigger sphere, but it is also equal to the diameter of the smaller sphere. So small r is capital R by 2. Again substitute here. So small r is capital R by 2, r cancel. Capital Q 1 by 2 cube, cube by 8. So these are the questions which are asked earlier. Right? Even he can even ask you the question. He can ask you the question even. You please try this question. There is a solid sphere of radius capital R with a cavity. Already there is a cavity which is touching the periphery and passing to the center of the sphere. Now with this cavity, now the cavity being existing like this, the charge remaining on this sphere is capital Q. After this cavity being removed, the charge that is remaining on the sphere is capital Q. So the charge Q with the cavity. So there is no charge here, only charge. Then what would be the charge contained in this cavity? You can ask you the question like this also. Please try this question, right? So the charge that is contained inside this Gaussian surface, Q inside, is capital Q small r by capital R whole Q. Now let's continue with the derivation, the reduction of the electric field. You know how to go whenever you are asked to find the electric field. The steps: first, imagine a Gaussian surface. So I imagined a symmetrical Gaussian surface, spherical with respect to the charge distribution. First point, it should pass through the point where the electric field is to be found. Right? He has given the point P. So there the Gaussian surface is passing through it. Now let the electric field here be some E bar. E. Now at that point, imagine a small area element ds. Small area element ds. Well, we know the small flux through the small area element d phi is E dot ds. Is it? Then integrating, then E dot ds, applying vectors. D phi is equal to E ds cos of the angle. Now the electric field is radial, the lines of force are radially outward like this. So radial, so the electric field direction is outward normal. Even the surface element, area element also has the area vector outward normal. So the small flux d phi is E ds. Correct? Now the total flux through the entire Gaussian surface, integral. So integral of d phi, that is surface integral of E ds. But you know, our Gaussian surface is symmetrical, so at all the points on the Gaussian surface, the electric field will be same. So this is a constant, take it out. So the total flux is equal to E integral ds. Right? Now the surface, the total surface area of this inner sphere, the total area of this inner sphere, you know, this inner sphere is a radius of, it's a sphere of radius small r. So the surface area of this sphere is 4 pi small r square. So the total flux is E times 4 pi small r square. This is equation number 4. Correct? Now we know, so equation 4. we know, next applying Gauss law, we know according to Gauss law, the total flux from the Gaussian surface, enclosed Gaussian surface, Q, the total flux phi is proportional to the charge that is enclosed inside. So our Gaussian surface is inner sphere here, this is the Gaussian surface. So the charge inside is small q. So the total flux pertaining to the Gaussian surface is charge that is enclosed inside the Gaussian surface q by epsilon naught. But we have already deduced the charge q inside the smaller sphere, that is capital Q small r by capital R whole cube. So substituting here, it's capital Q small r by capital R whole cube by epsilon naught. So therefore the flux through the Gaussian surface is capital Q by epsilon naught small r cube by capital R cube. This is equation 5. Now equating 4 and 5. By definition of the electric flux, then total electric flux to the surface is enclosed surface is E times 4 pi r square. According to Gauss law, the total flux is Q by epsilon naught r cube by r cube. Now these both mean the same. So the left hand sides are same. So equating the right hand sides, E into 4 pi small r square. E into 4 pi small r square is capital Q into small r square by epsilon naught small r cube by epsilon naught r cube. Well, getting this down here, E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. You see 4 pi and this epsilon naught here. Numerator, it is QR cube by this r square, when it comes here it is r square capital R cube. Well, r square out of this get cancelled smaller. So I get the electric field as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught cube by r cube into r. Cube by r cube into r like this. So QR by capital R cube. This is the magnitude of the electric field intensity due to a non-conducting solid sphere at a point inside point of the solid sphere. So it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught QR by capital R cube. This is the electric field. Magnitude of the electric field. Well, if I write the vector form of the electric field. Now the electric field is in the direction of the radius vector r bar. So putting the direction, it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital Q small r by r cube. This is the magnitude times the radius vector. So that is the direction along the radius vector. That is unit vector showing the direction. But you know this E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught capital QR by r cube. You know the radius vector, when I put it in vector form, it's r bar by mod r. Right, this cancel. So the electric field vectorially, it's 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r cube times capital R bar. A very beautiful formula for the electric field due to a non-conducting charged solid sphere. The magnitude of the electric field 1 by 4 epsilon naught QR by r cube. Right, in vector form, putting the unit vector into r cap. Well, finally, in terms of the radius vector r bar, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, smaller has got cancelled. It's q by r cube r bar, the radius vector. This is the vector form of the electric field at any inside point of the non-conducting charged sphere. Now you please look at this magnitude here. When you look at the magnitude of the electric field purely directly proportional to the charge that is enclosed inside. Charge of the sphere into the distance of the point, from the center smaller. So here E is directly proportional to smaller. Now this is a very important point to remember. Right? Usually we have been taking since the first charge, point charge, there electric field was inversely proportional to square of the distance. For dipole, it is inverse cube law, 1 by r cube. Right? For linear charge, it is inversely proportional to r. Well, of course, for a sheet, it is a constant. For a solid sphere, for a hollow sphere, it is r square. In all these cases, electric field was varying either inversely or it was constant. As the distance increases, electric field was decreasing. But here, for an inside point inside the sphere, the electric field is directly proportional. A very good point. can ever electric field change with direction, increase with the distance of the point from the center? The answer is yes. Inside the non-conducting charged solid sphere, as the distance increases, electric field increases. Right? For all the other cases, we have been observing the electric field is decreasing with the increasing distance. But inside this, it increases with distance. A very good point to understand. Okay? Right. Thank you. Sir.